This is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck reveal and review. This is going to be a Worlds Collide deck from my number 2 box. The last thing from that box, by the way, that I opened was a Dees Logos Shadows deck, and before that I had a Shadows Star Alliance Untamed deck, so, you know, decent diversity so far. Can he open the box? Yes. We have Dees, Shadows, and Untamed. Cool. Or not Untamed, but Logos rather. Dees, Shadows, and Logos. That is the same as the last number 2 that I opened. So, and I think that was a pretty good one. So we'll see if that happens here too. I'm looking for deck acceleration from the Logos, maybe some disruption. Definitely disruption in the Dees, as well as creature destruction, maybe some board control, and some damage plinking and steal in the Shadows. Maybe some purge effects. I've had good luck with those lately. Oh, and this is Ken Shank the Adventurer Crook. Yes, with Shadows in there and Dees, it is likely to be a Crook, that's for sure. Buzzle is a 3-power beast with Skirmish and Play Fight. You may purge one of Buzzle's neighbors if you do Ready Buzzle. Got 2 of those. Okay, some Fight in a pinch. Ooh, Draining Touch is an action. When you play it, you destroy a creature with no amber on it. Not so good against Saurians sometimes, but we'll see how it goes. Imp Spectre is a 2-power imp with Destroyed. Purge a random card from your opponent's hand. Rock Grub is a 1-power beast. When you play it, your opponent loses 1, and when it reaps, you archive it. That's cool. 2 of those. Ooh, I like that. The Evil Eye is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, your keys cost +3 during your opponent's next turn. Soul Keeper is an upgrade with a bonus amber that gives a creature destroyed. Destroy the most powerful enemy creature. Very nice. Probably really nice to put on the Imp Spectre. Ooh, and we got Ortannu. Wow, I have good luck getting Ortannu. Ortannu loves me. Ortannu is a 7-power demon with Reap. Return each copy of Ortannu's Binding from your discard pile to your hand. For each one returned this way, deal 2 damage to a creature with 2 splash. And so we are guaranteed. We're guaranteed to get 2 copies of Ortannu's Binding, which is an action with a bonus amber that says play, deal 2 damage to a friendly creature. So that's a little crazy, right? The deal 2 damage to your own creature part. But then once these are in the, if you imagine a turn where you start with this in your hand, you play each of these, you're gaining 2 amber, you're dealing 4 damage to Ortannu himself, then you reap with him, gain a 3rd amber, return these to your hand, do essentially 4 damage with 4 splash to your opponents, and then you can play these again for a 4th and 5th amber, potentially finishing off Ortannu or, spreading it around among your other creatures. It wouldn't be bad to get some things with armor in here, but either way, I think it's fine. And, we could maybe hit the Imp Spectre with that. They're good targets. And then lastly, we have Snag's Mirror, which is an artifact with an amber. It's also an item. And it says after a player chooses an active house, their opponent cannot choose the same house as their active house on their next turn. You have to be careful with this one. But it can be pretty oppressive. Cutthroat Research is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you steal 2 damage, or 2 amber rather, if your opponent has 8 or more. I would like to get this with something that boosts amber cost. Obviously, we have the Evil Eye, and Rot Grubs can take people down from 6 to 5, but it'd be nice to make the keys just cost more too. Daughter is fantastic. 2-power cyborg scientist with elusive. And during your draw card step, refill your hand to 1 additional card. That's very nice. That's really going to speed up our deck. I was hoping we get a second daughter. I have a second daughter. Worked out good for me. Yeah, awesome. I wouldn't have minded a third. Edai. Edai 4x4 is a 3-power AI scientist. With play, archive a card, and your opponent's keys cost +1 amber for each card in your archives. Pretty cool if you can keep this out and then keep recurring the rot grubs. When they archive themselves, they, benefit this. Wouldn't mind having more of those, because that does our, boost the key cost that would help us with our cutthroat research, but that's okay. Igor is a 2-power cyborg. With play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 to your hand, and discard the others. I love it. I love Hapsis. Hapsis is a 5-power mutant scientist, and after an enemy creature is destroyed fighting Hapsis, you ward Hapsis and draw a card. In the end, this can turn into almost like a more powerful Quixo. Ooh, we have 2 Hapsises, great. Sanitation Engineer is a 4-power cyborg scientist with Hazardous 1, and Reap, discard a card from your hand. Not bad. Ooh, Tautau Vapors is an action. It says draw 2 cards and archive a card. Really nice. Then we have Wild Wormhole, which is an action that gives you a bonus amber, and after you play it, you play the top card of your deck. Super fun. And then we have Group Think Tank, which is a 4-power robot experiment with action. Oh, and it has 3 armor. And has action, deal 4 damage to each creature that shares a house with at least one of its neighbors. And if this is on the board, then that is a good way to spend the damage from the Ortannu's bindings as well. Really nice. Here's another thing with armor. We have Zenzi Zenzik, who is a 4-power cyborg leader that says during your draw card step, if Zenzi Zenzik is in the center of your battle line, refill your hand to 2 additional cards. And if we get lucky and we have this and 2 daughters on the board, with this in the center, we're drawing 10 cards, which is amazing. Alright, let's look at our shadow spread here. We have Avinda, who's a 4-power elf thief. With Reap, deal a damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Breaker Hill is a 1-power elf thief with Elusive, and each of its neighbors gains action, steal 1. Really nice. This lets us potentially steal on our Logos and Dees turns, as well as our Shadow. Hit and Run is an action that says when you play it, you deal 2 damage to a creature. You return a friendly creature to your hand. Let's see, is there anything we would really like to do that with? Maybe one of the Rot Grubs wouldn't be bad. Maybe the Igor, maybe the Edai, if the timing is right. And yeah, I think I mentioned the Rot Grubs wouldn't be bad. Okay. Hawk gives you a bonus amber and you destroy an artifact. And if you do, you gain another amber. Really nice. Oh, and this could be a decent way to get rid of the Snag's Mirror if you played it and then decide it's a problem. Hugger Mugger is a 3-power elf thief with Elusive, and play capture 1. Then if your opponent has more forged keys than you, steal 1. Obviously, if your opponent is ahead of you on keys, then playing this with a hit and run could be quite good. Of course, you would like to just be ahead in the first place. Kymor Eclipse is an action that says play shuffle each flank creature into its owner's deck. 2 of those, interesting, good soft board control. Umbra is a 2-power elf thief with skirmish and fight, steal 1. Good if we can keep him on the board. Into the Night is an action. When you play it, until the start of your next turn, non-shadows creatures cannot be used to fight. That might be a good way to keep the Umbra alive. I like it. No Safety in Numbers, also some good board control here. It's an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you deal 3 damage to each creature that belongs to a house that has 3 or more creatures in play. That's yours and your opponent's. And importantly, the part that's easy to mess up is, if I have 1 shadows creature and my opponent has 2, that counts as 3. So all 3 of them will get 3 damage. We have a Special Delivery. Very excellent. It's an artifact with a bonus amber, and Omni, sacrifice it. Deal 3 damage to a flank creature. If this damage destroys that creature, purge it. And lastly, we have Customs Office, which is an artifact and location that says your opponent must pay you an amber in order to play an artifact. I like this. This is good steal in shadows, along with some really cool effects in Logos, possibly some decent board control, some great deck acceleration. And I like the board control as well as amber generation in Dees. So looks all around fun, and we'll see how it goes. This was Ken Shank, the Adventurer Crook. I hope you enjoyed it, and good luck forging those keys.